For all your t-shirt needs, check out TeePublic's Killer Selection. Follow the link in the description. Hey, what's up, people? Pizzal here, fresh from the Horrorhound weekend in lovely downtown Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm going to do a haul video for you guys, talk about the event, and share some footage that I shot at the event, all in this video. So this will be a lengthy video, so just bear with me. I was there all weekend, but I only felt like I got to do about half the things that I wanted to do, simply by virtue of the fact of how disjointed everything was, and how they had scheduled. It seemed to me like everything that I wanted to do, they'd scheduled it at exactly the same time. So the screenings that I wanted to take in, Never Hike Alone, Jason Goes to Hell on the IMAX, summer of 1984, they'd scheduled those at the exact same time as my photo ops. I wanted to check out the Nightmare on Elm Street Q&A, but they'd basically hidden it. And by the time I found it, it was already like 20 minutes into the Q&A, and it was standing room only all the way back to the door. So had to pass on that one. Basically, the convention occupied 3 floors in the JW Marriott downtown hotel and convention center. So everything, depending on what you wanted to do and who you wanted to see, you were constantly going up and down escalators. And if what you wanted to see or who you wanted to meet was on the first floor, that didn't necessarily mean that it was on the first floor, because you had to go to the first floor, walk around toward the back of the first floor, take an escalator down to the sub first floor, I guess, walk about half a mile, go around a corner, and in another corner in a cubby hole was what you were looking for. So perfect example. Kiefer Sutherland, Jason Patric, and Lou Diamond Phillips were in this circuitous sub first floor alcove hidden away. It took me all of 20 minutes to meet Kiefer Sutherland at most. It took me all of about 15 or 20 minutes at the most to meet Jason Patric. And I walked directly up to Lou Diamond Phillips's table because nobody was there. And this was on a Saturday. That's how hidden away. 3 of their biggest draws, they had completely hidden away and people could not find them. To the point where the second floor was kind of the main floor. They were constantly on the PA in the second floor. Like, Kiefer Sutherland, Lou Diamond Phillips, and Jason Patric are on the first floor signing autographs. Remember, don't forget. And I saw that they'd posted on social media where they were a number of times also, because people couldn't find them. So yeah, it was very, very disjointed, and I really hated the way they scheduled everything, because basically everything was in conflict with everything else. But still, overall, I had a really positive experience. This was my second Horrorhound event. This was my first one in Indianapolis. And overall, I had a pretty positive experience. So I'll show you guys some of the smaller stuff that I got, then show you some of the bigger stuff, then we'll show some footage and some pictures and all that good stuff. But first up, right on top here, photo op with the great Kiefer Sutherland. You guys know I love The Lost Boys. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. I've seen it countless times. So getting to meet Kiefer Sutherland and getting my Lost Boys poster and getting a photo op with him was really cool. This was actually my very first photo op. I've been definitely anti-photo op up to this point. Out of all the conventions that I've gone to over the years, I've never done a photo op, but for Kiefer Sutherland, the only way I was going to get a photo with Kiefer Sutherland was to do the photo op. So I went ahead, I did the photo op. It was exactly as I'd imagined it being. I don't know if I'd ever do another photo op unless it is someone that I really, really, really want to get a photo with. And of course, the only way you can get the photo with them is the photo op. But Kiefer Sutherland was pretty nice. He loved my Lost Boy shirt. Not overly talkative, but definitely friendly, I would say. But yeah, really enjoyed meeting him. I mean, I love The Lost Boys. I love Dark City. I love a lot of his movies. And yeah, really cool to meet Kiefer Sutherland. On the reverse here, I've got Jason Patric, also from The Lost Boys, as well as many, many, many other films. I posted this pic on social media, and I said, with a highly enthused Jason Patric. And a lot of people posted like, oh, what a jerk. He doesn't want to be there. Why would he go there if he doesn't want to be there? He doesn't look happy, blah, blah, blah. And I never, he wasn't overly friendly. He wasn't overly talkative, but I just kind of got the sense from him that was just kind of his personality, that he's more of a reserved, quiet kind of guy. And I mean, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. I didn't mean it in a mean way, like he was, highly enthused or anything. But I did see one guy in particular posted, oh, he was so nice to me. He picked up my baby. He hugged my mother. So I don't know. Maybe Jason Patric has a thing for mothers. I don't know. But also noticed I noticed a lot of people with babies, like babies. I don't think I'd ever seen a baby at a horror convention before. But at this one, I saw a lot of babies. At one point, I was taking a break, just sitting on a couch, and a woman sat down next to me and just pulled her thing out and started nursing her baby. So that was also a first for me at a horror convention. So, but anyway, I digress. Yeah, Jason Patric, really enjoyed meeting him, even though, like I said, he wasn't overly friendly. He wasn't super talkative or anything like that. But, I love The Lost Boys, and he's been in a lot of great movies. I loved him in Narc. Sleepers, he was great in. Rush. I mean, he's been in a lot of great movies. Speed 2. No, not Speed 2. Somebody actually commented on on my Instagram post. They were like, did you whisper, always remember Speed 2 in his ear or something before this picture was taken? Which I thought was kind of funny. But yeah, it was cool meeting Jason Patric and Kiefer Sutherland and getting them to sign my Lost Boys poster. Very cool. Next up, I got a couple of, I have to admit, I was not super impressed with a lot of the vendors that were at Horrorhound this year. It was Mask Fest, and there wasn't a whole lot there that I was drawn to personally when it comes to the vendors. But I found, and I thought I took a picture of the name of this guy's business, but I did not. So if you know who this person is, please comment in the comment section below and let me know so I can give them a proper shout out. But this gentleman makes these like 3D kind of images like this inside these little shadow boxes. And I've seen him at shows before, and I just loved his work. And before I left, I had to run by and pick up a couple of things. So I picked up this Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D effect kind of poster, which I think just looks absolutely fantastic. Just absolutely beautiful. Here's my Friday the 13th Part 5, my Roy 3D effect kind of picture. But yeah, just check out how cool that is. That's just so cool. Check out the blade. I just love that. Yeah, nobody out there is doing anything even remotely close to this. So, I mean, that makes him really unique and just really talented guy. So again, if you know the individual who's making these things, please let me know his name down in the comment section below so I can give him a proper shout out. And he was on Instagram and like Facebook. I was certain I took a picture to remind myself of his social media links and of the name of his business, but I apparently did not. But yeah, these are both really, really cool. I will set those aside. And first up, we've got my, as far as autographs are concerned, I got my Friday the 13th Part 7 mini poster signed by Terry Kaiser, Bad News Cruise. And he was like, he was really cool. He was just super, super friendly. And I mean, just really, really cool. Actually, as we were pulling into the hotel, there was a guy sitting outside smoking a cigarette. And I was like, is that Terry Kaiser? Is that Terry? I motioned to my girlfriend. I said, honey, roll down the window and yell Bernie. She did not. But she did tell him that I tried to put her up to that, which he thought was pretty funny. But yeah, Bad News Cruise, Terry Kaiser from Friday the 13th, Part 7. Very nice guy. Yeah, he was pretty cool. Really enjoyed meeting Terry Kaiser. I got another mini poster here signed by Adam Marcus, the co-writer director of Jason Goes to Hell. And of course, this is a Jason Goes to Hell, the Final Friday mini poster that I picked up at the show. I finally got to tell Adam Marcus about my story of watching Jason Goes to Hell in the theater with a church youth group, of going with a church youth group after church one night to watch Jason Goes to Hell, the Final Friday. And he loved the story. He loved that story. And he was another just very, very friendly, very talkative, just a really, really cool guy. But yeah, Adam Marcus, Jason Goes to Hell, the Final Friday. Yeah, really, really awesome to finally meet him and tell him my my church youth group story, which I've shared with you guys several times in the past, but it was cool to finally tell him. And like I said, he got a huge, huge kick out of it. All right, first up here, I've got my Nightmare on Elm Street poster. Finally got to meet Robert Englund at a convention. Waited in line for him for 3 hours. They actually had put Robert Englund in the same room with the It Kids. Kind of a small room, and there was no line organization whatsoever. So it was absolute anarchy. At one point, I found myself amidst a sea of tween girls who were crying, hyperventilating, having full-blown anxiety attacks over the It Kids. I was like, am I at a horror convention or a One Direction concert? It was another first for me at a convention. Just these girls were beside themselves with elation to meet the It Kids. But after 3 hours of that, I finally got to meet Robert Englund. He signed my poster there. He asked me, was there anything you want me to write on there? And of course, I had to go with Welcome to Primetime, Bitch, which is my brother's favorite Freddy quote. If you ask Jeremy, what does Freddy Krueger say? He will more often than not recite that line of dialogue from Nightmare on Elm Street 3. And Robert Englund was nice enough to record a brief video for Jeremy, because I told him, I've got a younger brother. He loves you. He loves Freddy Krueger. And he has autism, and he just couldn't handle this kind of event. It would just be overstimulation for him. And, he doesn't do well with standing in lines and things like that. So he recorded a brief video for Jeremy, which was very, very nice of him. And, so really enjoyed getting to meet, Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger for the very first time. And he signed my Nightmare on Elm Street poster. Over here on the other side, I have Amanda Weiss's signature. And she was very, very nice, very, very sweet, very, very talkative. Just really nice lady overall, really sweet. And really enjoyed meeting Amanda Weiss and having her sign my Nightmare on Elm Street poster. Kind of wedged. Got my Heather Langenkamp signature there that I got several years ago at a Mad Monster party. So got them all three together right there. Robert Englund, Heather Langenkamp, and Amanda Weiss. And there's some room over here for Johnny Depp when he eventually does conventions. So saved some room there for Johnny. All right, and last but not least, on my Lost Boys poster, I got Jason Patric right there. He writes, "It's fun to be a vampire." And right next to his, Kiefer Sutherland's, in which he writes, "All my best." So yeah, my Lost Boys poster looking pretty good. Got Jason Patric, got Kiefer Sutherland. Over here I've got Tim Capello. And down there I have got Corey Feldman. So Lost Boys poster looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. I almost forgot to mention meeting Lou Diamond Phillips. Lou Diamond Phillips is the bomb. Lou Diamond Phillips is probably one of the most friendly celebrities I've ever met at a convention. It was handshake, it was hug, it was really nice conversation. I told him, I said, there's something I've always wanted to tell you. You were the bomb in the big hit. He did the chest pound. He blew me the peace kiss. He said, "Let's bust some caps." He was awesome. Just, I can't say enough good things about Lou Diamond Phillips. Lou Diamond Phillips is the freaking bomb. If you get the opportunity to meet him at a convention, absolutely go and meet Lou Diamond Phillips. Join the $1 a month club and help support my channel on Patreon. Thank you to my current patrons: Kevin Smythe, Orc145626, B-Movie Mike, Robert Sobel, Turi Delamore, Stephen Flanagan, Lori Holt, Mitch Odell, Farron Sutton, Craig Farrand, Jeremiah Lambert, Grindhouse Grotto, Joseph Charlesworth, PB Sam 6, Derek Jana, Demon Waffles, Tim Williams, Stone Gassman, Zachary Barton, Mr. Bibby 86, James Welch, Eli Geisler, Jeff Overing, Cliff Hostetter, and Kyle McGuire. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.